You know that feeling when your whole world shifts in a single breath? When the ground beneath your feet just disappears. I'm standing outside my husband's office right now. 43rd floor, Midtown Manhattan. The lottery ticket, the winning ticket is folded in my purse. $50 million. With an EM. I practiced the whole thing on the subway. How I'd walk in. How his face would light up. How we'd hold each other and cry because after 20 years of struggling, of choosing the cheaper cereal, of saying maybe next year to every vacation, we finally made it. My hands are shaking as I reach for the door handle. But then I hear it. A sound that doesn't belong in an office at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. A moan. Soft. Breathy. Female. I freeze. My brain tries to rationalize it. Maybe he's on a call. Maybe someone's watching a video. Maybe then I hear him. Elliot. My Elliot. His voice low and rough in a way I haven't heard in years. Not since our honeymoon in that cheap motel in the Poconos when we were too young and too broke to care. God, you feel so good. The words slice through me like broken glass. My heart is pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. My vision tunnels. The hallway tilts. I should leave. I should turn around and walk away and pretend I never came here. But my hand, my stupid, trembling hand, pushes the door open. Just a crack. Just enough. And what I see will be burned into my retinas for the rest of my life. Elliot. My husband of 20 years. The man who promised to love me in sickness and health. The man I supported through business school while working 2 jobs. The man whose mother I cared for during her final months of cancer. He's bent over his desk, pants around his ankles, and behind him, pressed against him, is Madison, his 26-year-old assistant, the one he hired 8 months ago, the one he said was just really good with spreadsheets, the one I baked banana bread for on her first day because Elliot told me she was homesick. Her manicured hands are gripping his shoulders. His tie, the tie I straightened this morning before he left, is hanging loose around his neck. Her skirt is hiked up around her waist. The rhythmic creak of his desk. The scattered papers on the floor. His jacket, the one I got him for Christmas, crumpled on the leather chair. She makes a sound. A gasp. A laugh. And he laughs too. Laughs. Like they're sharing some private joke. Like this is easy. Like this is fun. I feel something inside me crack. Not break. Not shatter. Crack. Like ice on a frozen lake when you step too far from shore. The lottery ticket in my purse suddenly feels obscene. Meaningless. I came here to change our lives, and instead I'm watching mine end. 20 years. 20 years of loyalty. Of sacrifice. Of believing that we were a team. That we were partners. That love was something you built, not something you threw away the moment someone younger smiled at you. I think about our son Marcus, 11 years old, plays saxophone in the school band.
Looks exactly like his father.
I think about the anniversary dinner last week, where Elliot barely looked up from his phone. I think about the nights he came home late smelling like expensive perfume. Client meeting, he'd say. I think about how stupid I've been. How blind. How much of a fool. Madison sees me first. Her eyes go wide. Her mouth forms a perfect O of shock. But I don't wait for Elliot to turn around. I close the door. Softly. So softly they might wonder if it was just the wind. My hands are steady now. My heartbeat is slow. Measured. Something cold and clear settles over me like a second skin. I walk to the elevator. Press the button. Wait. The doors open. I step inside. As the elevator descends, I catch my reflection in the polished steel. I look the same. Same brown eyes. Same lines around my mouth. Same woman who woke up this morning and kissed her husband goodbye. But I'm not. I'm not. I pull out my phone, open my contacts, scroll to the name I haven't called in years. My divorce attorney friend, Claire, the one who always told me I was too good for him.
My thumb hovers over her name.
Then I stop. No, not yet. I put the phone away and pull out the lottery ticket instead. $50 million. In New York, lottery winnings aren't community property if you file before you claim. Elliot doesn't know I won. Elliot doesn't know I was here. Elliot doesn't know that the life he thinks he's protecting, the marriage, the house, the comfortable lie, is already over. The elevator doors open to the lobby. I step out into the afternoon light. People rush past me. Suits and sneakers, coffee cups and briefcases, the whole oblivious world. I take a breath, and I smile. Because here's what Elliot doesn't understand yet. He didn't just cheat on his wife. He cheated on a woman who's about to become very, very wealthy and very, very angry. That day, I didn't just lose a husband. I lost 20 years of loyalty in one breath. But he lost everything. He just doesn't know it yet. He didn't see me. But he will.
The subway smells the same as it did 20 years ago.
That mix of brake dust, coffee, and tired dreams. I'm sitting in the same orange plastic seat I used to collapse into after my second shift, and for a moment, just a split second, I'm 28 again.
Young.
Hopeful. Stupid. It's funny what triggers memory. For me, it's the screech of the F train pulling into Lexington Avenue. That sound used to mean I had 15 minutes before I had to pick up Marcus from my neighbor's apartment, heat up leftovers, help with homework, and somehow stay awake long enough to make sure Elliot ate something other than pride and promises. Back then, Elliot was between opportunities. That's what we called unemployment in our apartment. Made it sound temporary. Noble, even. He'd graduated business school with honors. I'd paid for half of it by working double shifts at the hospital as a nursing assistant and weekends at a coffee shop in Soho. My hands were raw from bleach and scalding espresso steam, but I didn't mind. That's what you do when you believe in someone, right? You hold them up until they can stand on their own. I thought I was building a partnership. Turns out I was just building him. I remember the night he came home with his business plan. Some tech consulting startup. He spread papers across our kitchen table, the one I'd found on the curb, and sanded down myself, and his eyes were bright with something I hadn't seen in months. Hope. Deb, he said, this is it. This is us. Us. I loved that word. I took the money I'd been saving for nursing school, $12,000, in an envelope in the freezer, wrapped in aluminum foil like it was leftover lasagna, and I handed it to him. Make it count, I said. He kissed me, promised me the world. I never did go back to school. The first 2 years, the company barely survived. There were nights I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and find him at that kitchen table, head in his hands, calculator surrounded by bills. I'd make him tea, rub his shoulders, tell him it would be okay. Then I'd go to work and pick up extra shifts to cover what the business couldn't. When the company finally landed its first major client, Elliot took the team out to celebrate. I stayed home with Marcus. He had a fever. You understand, right, babe? Elliot said, already halfway out the door. This is important. This is our future. I understood. I always understood. As the company grew, I became smaller. Not intentionally. Not all at once. Just gradually.
Like watching the tide go out and realizing you're standing on dry sand, wondering when the water left.
I stopped going to company events. It's better if I stay with Marcus, I'd say. But really, I just felt out of place among the young associates in their sleek dresses and confident laughs. Elliot started traveling more. Hong Kong, San Francisco, London. He'd come home with expensive luggage tags and stories about steakhouses I'd never see. "You wouldn't like it anyway," he'd say. "Too stuffy. You're more down to earth." Down to earth. That's what you call someone when you mean they're not sophisticated enough for your new life. 3 years ago, the company hit a rough patch. Some bad investments. A client lawsuit. Elliot was panicking, pacing our living room at midnight, talking about bankruptcy, about losing everything. I didn't hesitate. My mother's wedding ring, a simple gold band with 3 tiny diamonds, the only thing I had left of her, went to the pawn shop on 8th Avenue. $4,000. I gave it to Elliot without telling him where it came from. Emergency fund, I lied. The company survived. He never asked about the ring I stopped wearing. Last year, he hired Madison. She's brilliant with numbers, he told me over dinner. Young, hungry. Reminds me of myself at that age. I baked her banana bread on her first day. Used my grandmother's recipe. Added extra walnuts because Elliot mentioned she liked them. "You're so thoughtful," she said, smiling. Her teeth were perfect. Orthodontist perfect. I noticed her nails. Manicured, French tips. Mine were short. Practical.
Split at the edges from years of work.
Last month, Elliot said something that should have been a compliment, but landed like a stone in my chest. We were arguing about Marcus's college fund. I wanted to contribute more. Elliot waved me off. "Deb, you're not ambitious enough to understand business. Let me handle the finances." Not ambitious enough. The woman who gave him her education money. Her mother's ring. 20 years of her life. Not ambitious. I didn't argue. I just nodded and cleared the plates. If you've ever given everything to someone who later turned away, you'll understand this part. You'll know what it feels like to be slowly erased from your own story. To watch someone climb a ladder you built, then kick it away once they reach the top. Thank you to everyone who helps keep these stories alive. Every word you share, every act of kindness helps protect those who still believe in family. Those who still believe loyalty means something. I'm looking at my hands now. The same hands that held my son when he was born. That scrubbed floors and poured coffee and signed over savings accounts and pawned precious things. Calloused. Capable. Strong. Funny how the hands that built his life became invisible. But invisible doesn't mean powerless. And that's something Elliot's about to learn. I don't sleep that night. I lie there in our bed, the one we picked out together at IKEA 12 years ago because we couldn't afford anything better, and I stare at the ceiling while Elliot snores beside me. He came home at 11, kissed my forehead, said he'd grabbed dinner with a client. His breath smelled like red wine and lies. At 2 a.m., I get up. My hands are steady as I lift his phone from the nightstand. I know his passcode. It's Marcus's birthday. He never changed it because he never thought he needed to. The screen glows in the dark. I start with the obvious messages. There's a thread with Madison. Of course there is. Most of it's deleted, but he's sloppy. Careless. There are fragments. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Wear that black dress, she'll never know she. Me. I scroll further. There are expense reports. Hotel charges. The Skyline Motel in Queens. Room 203. Charged 3 times last month alone. Last month he told me he was in Boston for a conference. The credit card statement tells a different story. I open his email. There's a folder labeled Personal buried in his archives. Inside, receipts for jewelry I never received. Dinner reservations for 2 at restaurants I've never been to, a bottle of champagne $400 delivered to an address in Williamsburg. Madison's address. I Googled it once months ago, when Elliot said he needed to drop off work documents at her place.
Just easier than having her come to the office on a Sunday, he'd said.
I believed him.
God, I believed everything.
Then I find the video. It's in his hidden photos folder. The one you have to scroll past all the normal pictures to find. The thumbnail is dark, grainy. I almost skip it, but I don't. I press play. It's them, in his office.
The same desk I saw them on yesterday.
But this is from before. Weeks ago, maybe months. Madison is laughing. Her blouse is unbuttoned. Elliot's hands are on her waist and he's kissing her neck and she's saying something I can't quite hear. Then he pulls back and grins at the camera at himself because he's the one recording, and he says, "Best business decision I ever made." She giggles. He kisses her again. The video ends. I watch it 3 more times. Not because I want to, because I need to understand. Best business decision I ever made. Not a mistake. Not a moment of weakness. A decision. Calculated. Intentional. Proud. I close the phone. Set it down gently. My chest feels hollow.
Like something's been scooped out and all that's left is cold air and the echo of my own heartbeat.
I move to his laptop. It's in his briefcase, half open on the chair in the corner. I take it to the kitchen. Boot it up. The password is the same as his phone. He really never thought I'd look. I open his banking app. There's an account I don't recognize. Chase. Personal savings. Opened 8 months ago. The same month he hired Madison. There's $47.00 in it. I click on the transaction history. Monthly transfers from our joint account. Small amounts. $500 here. $800 there. Nothing big enough for me to notice. Except I did notice. I just didn't say anything. Last year I asked him why our savings weren't growing. He said business expenses were higher than expected, said we'd catch up next quarter. I believed him. I always believed him. There's a PDF in his downloads folder. A legal document. I open it. Postnuptial agreement draft. My vision blurs. I skim the pages. Legal jargon. Asset division.
Spousal support waivers.
And then I see it. A clause about lottery winnings. In the event of any windfall income exceeding $100.00, including but not limited to lottery winnings, legal settlements, or inheritance assets, shall be considered joint marital property subject to equitable distribution. He knew. He didn't know I won, but he knew I played. Every week. Same numbers. Same dealie on the corner. He used to tease me about it. Called it my poor tax. But he made sure that if I ever won, he'd get half. No, not half. In New York, with a good lawyer and a long marriage, he'd get most of it. And with this secret account, these hotel receipts, this video evidence of his perfect little life with his perfect little assistant, he was building an exit strategy. He wasn't just cheating on me. He was preparing to leave me. After I gave him everything, I close the laptop. The kitchen is silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. I feel something shift inside me, not breaking, crystallizing. If you've ever trusted someone so deeply that their betrayal made you question your own worth, you're not alone. You're not crazy. You're not weak for believing that love meant something. Thank you, everyone who helps me tell these stories. Your support keeps this space alive for those who still believe that truth somehow will always find its way. I sit there in the dark, and I start to plan. because Elliot thinks he's 3 steps ahead. But he doesn't know the most important thing. He doesn't know I'm already gone. He just hasn't noticed yet. The apartment is so quiet, I can hear the refrigerator hum 2 rooms away. It's 4 a.m. I haven't slept in 3 days. I'm sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee that went cold an hour ago. I keep wrapping my hands around it anyway, like the ceramic might still hold some warmth. Some proof that I'm still here. The overhead light flickers. It's been doing that for 2 weeks. Elliot hasn't noticed. I haven't mentioned it. There's a crack in the ceiling above the sink. It's shaped like a Y, a question with no answer. I've stared at it so many times, I could draw it from memory. Elliot comes home every night at 7:30. Same routine. Keys on the counter. Jacket over the chair.
Kiss on my cheek, dry quick automatic.
Like checking off a box on a list.
Wife. Present. Kissed. Done. How was your day? He asks. Fine, I say. And that's it. That's all we are now. 2 people performing marriage in an empty theater. He doesn't notice I'm not eating. That I've lost 8 pounds in a week. That my hands shake when I pour his coffee in the morning. He doesn't see me at all. Maybe he never did. Last night I almost told him. We were sitting on the couch. Some crime show was on. A detective was interrogating a cheating husband. The irony was so sharp it made my teeth hurt. I opened my mouth. The words were right there. I know what you did. I know who you are. But then Marcus called from his room asking about a school form, and Elliot got up to help him, and the moment dissolved like sugar in water. Gone. Just gone. Silence isn't peace. It's a coffin where you bury your last illusions. I tried talking to my friend Karen. We've known each other since Marcus was in kindergarten. She's seen me through everything: my mother's death, Elliot's business struggles, the year I had pneumonia and could barely stand. I called her Tuesday afternoon. Karen, I said, I need to tell you something. There was a pause. Background noise. She was at Whole Foods. Can it wait? And I'm grabbing stuff for tonight's dinner party. You and Elliot are still coming, right? No. I mean, Karen, Elliot's been what, working too much? Girl, tell me about it. David's barely home either. It's like we're married to ghosts. She laughed. I didn't. Karen, he's cheating on me. Silence. Then Deb. Come on. Elliot. You're Elliot, the guy who tears up during those soldier coming home videos. No way. I saw them. Together. In his office. Another pause. Longer this time. Honey. Are you sure? I mean, stress can make us see things that aren't. I hung up. She texted me an hour later. Sorry if I upset you.
Let's talk when you're feeling better.
Feeling better. Like this is a cold. A bad mood. Something that will pass if I just drink enough tea and get some rest. Nobody believes me. Because Elliot is charming. Elliot is successful. Elliot posts pictures of us on Facebook with captions like "Lucky Man" and "My Rock." And I'm just Deborah. Tired, quiet, forgettable. The woman who fades into the background of her own life. Marcus came home from band practice yesterday. Dropped his backpack by the door. Grabbed an apple from the counter. Hey, Mom. Hey, baby. He looked at me for half a second. Then back at his phone. You okay? Yeah. Just tired. Cool. I'm gonna game for a bit before homework. And he was gone. My son. The person I love most in this world. And even he doesn't see it. I'm disappearing. If you've ever sat in a room so quiet it started to echo your thoughts, you'll understand this silence.
You'll know what it's like to scream inside your own head while your face stays perfectly still.
Thank you to those who help keep these stories alive. Your kindness helps give voice to people who've been forgotten, who sit alone in their pain, waiting to be seen again.
This morning I was washing dishes.
The water was too hot. I should have adjusted it, but I didn't. I just stood there, hands under the scalding stream, watching my skin turn red. It felt like something. Pain. Proof. I don't know. My hands were shaking when I finally turned off the tap. I looked at them, these hands that have held so much, sacrificed so much, built so much, and I thought, what have I become? Then I heard it. A sound from the living room. Elliot's laptop. The chime of an incoming email. He'd left it open on the coffee table. He never does that. He's usually so careful. I dried my hands, walked over. The screen was still lit. And there in the preview pane was an email from someone named Richard Wolfe, Esquire. The subject line, "Retransfer of Deborah Harrison's lottery winnings consultation," required my heart stop.
My breath caught.
And for the first time in days, I felt something other than emptiness. I felt rage. I don't move. I just stand there staring at the screen, reading it again. And again. "Retransfer of Deborah Harrison's lottery winnings consultation required." I click it open. The email is from Richard Wolfe, attorney at law, Midtown office, the kind of lawyer who charges $800 an hour to help rich men stay rich. Elliot, per our discussion, I've reviewed the marital asset structure. Given that the lottery ticket was purchased with joint funds during the marriage, we have strong grounds to claim the winnings as marital property. However, timing is critical. If she claims the prize before we file, things get complicated. I recommend you encourage her to transfer the winnings into your business account for tax purposes or investment opportunities. Once the funds are commingled, we have leverage. After the transfer, we proceed with divorce on grounds of irreconcilable differences. Clean. Fast. She won't see it coming. Let me know when you're ready to move forward. Richard, my hands are numb. I scroll down. There's a reply from Elliot. Sent 2 days ago. "Richard, she doesn't know she won yet. I saw the ticket in her purse last week, checked the numbers myself. $50 M. She hasn't claimed it. I'm working the angle. Told her we should plan for the future and open a joint investment account. She'll sign anything I put in front of her. She always does. Madison's been helping me set things up. Once the money's in, I'll get rid of her clean. She's too old-fashioned to fight back. She'll believe anything I say. I stop breathing. Get rid of her clean. Like I'm trash. Like I'm nothing. Like 20 years of marriage can be wiped away with a signature and a lie." There's another email below. From someone named Laura. Not Madison. Laura. I don't know anyone named Laura. I open it. "Elliot, this is going to be easier than you think. I've seen the way she looks at you like you're some kind of hero. She's old-fashioned. She'll believe anything you say. Once the cash is secured, we can finally stop pretending. I'm tired of sneaking around. I want the life you promised me. Laura. Not Madison. Laura." I scroll back through his sent folder. There are dozens of emails to her. Months of them. A year, maybe more. Hotel confirmations. Dinner reservations. Jewelry receipts. Madison wasn't the affair. Madison was the decoy. Laura is someone in accounting. Someone I've never met. Someone invisible. While I was watching Madison Young, obvious the perfect distraction, he was building a whole other life with someone else. And they were both laughing at me. I sit down. The room tilts. My vision blurs at the edges, but I don't cry. I can't. There's Nothing left to cry with. I think about all the times I trusted him. Signed papers without reading them. Believed him when he said, "Don't worry, I'll handle it." I think about the post-nuptial agreement he tried to get me to sign last year. Just a formality, he'd said. For tax purposes. I didn't sign it. Not because I was smart. Because I was busy. I forgot. That one moment of distraction might have saved my life. If you've ever found truth in the quiet moments after pain, you know what this part feels like. The clarity that comes when illusions shatter. The cold, terrible relief of finally seeing. Thank you to everyone who supports these stories. Your kindness keeps hope alive for people still finding their voice after betrayal. I close the laptop. I stand up. My hands aren't shaking anymore. For the first time in days, I feel something other than despair. I feel awake. They think I'm weak, old-fashioned, naive, easy to manipulate. They think I'll believe anything. And maybe, just maybe, that's my strongest weapon. Because if they underestimate me, they won't see me coming. I walk to the bedroom. Elliot's still asleep, one arm flung over my side of the bed like he owns it. Like he owns me. I look at him for a long moment. Then I smile. Not happy smile. A knowing one.
Sleep well, I whisper.
You're going to need it. There comes a point when silence stops meaning defeat. It becomes preparation. I don't sleep that night. But for the first time in weeks, I'm not drowning in it. I'm using it. I sit at the kitchen table with Elliot's laptop, a legal pad, and a pen I stole from a bank 3 years ago. The apartment is dark except for the glow of the screen. Elliot's snoring drifts from the bedroom. Loud. Confident. The sound of a man who thinks he's already won. I start making a list. Not a revenge list. A survival list. Step 1, document everything. I spend 2 hours taking screenshots. Every email. Every banked transaction. Every receipt for hotels, dinners, jewelry I never wore. I save them to a flash drive I bought at Duane Rita on my way home from the dealie yesterday. The blue one. $12.99. I paid cash. I upload everything to a cloud account Elliot doesn't know exists. The email is my maiden name. The password is my mother's birthday. He'll never guess it. He never knew her birthday anyway. Step 2, find a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. A killer. I text my old friend Nicole. We worked together at the hospital 25 years ago. She married a corporate attorney, divorced him, and took half his practice in the settlement. Nicole, need a favor. Confidential. Family. Law. Best you know. She responds at 6 a.m. Miriam Katz. She's a shark. Tell her I sent you. She owes me. I call Miriam's office at 9:01 a.m. the second they open. I need a consultation, I say. Today, if possible. The receptionist asks if it's urgent. Yes. What's the nature of divorce? Infidelity. Hidden assets. $50 million. There's a pause. She can see you at 2.
Step 3, play dumb.
This is the hardest part, because every instinct in my body wants to scream at him, throw his clothes out the window, smash his laptop against the wall. But I don't. Instead, I make him breakfast. Elliot comes into the kitchen at 7:30, adjusting his tie. Morning, he says, kissing my cheek like he always does. Dry. Quick. Quick. Automatic. I smile. Morning, honey. Coffee's ready.
He pours himself a cup.
Scrolls through his phone. I was thinking, I say, keeping my voice light. Maybe we should start planning. For the future. Investments. Retirement. He glances up. His eyes sharpen just a little. Yeah. I mean, we're not getting any younger. And with your business doing so well. I trail off, letting him fill in the blanks. He sets down his phone. You're right. Actually, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Of course he has. I think we should consolidate our accounts, he says. Move everything into one place. Makes it easier to manage. I can handle the details. I nod slowly like I'm considering it. That makes sense. Can you draw up some paperwork? I'd feel better seeing it in writing. His smile widens. Absolutely. I'll have something ready by Friday. He kisses me again. This time on the forehead. You're the best, Deb. I'm lucky to have you. He leaves. The door clicks shut. I count to 10. Then I exhale. For years I mistook generosity for love. Now I'm learning the quiet math of self-respect. Step 4. Gather the evidence he doesn't know exists. I call the credit card company. Pretend I've lost a receipt. Could you email me the statement from March? My accountant needs it for taxes. They do. I find 3 more charges at the Skyline Motel. Room 203. Always room 203. I call the motel.
Ask if they have security footage from March 14th.
We keep it for 90 days, the clerk says.
Can I request a copy for what purpose? Legal matter?
Divorce proceedings. You'll need a subpoena. I make a note. Ask Miriam about subpoena.
Step 5. Build the trap.
That night, I mention the lottery ticket. Casual. Offhand. Forgot to tell you. I checked my lotto numbers from last month. Didn't win, obviously. But you know me. Always hopeful. Elliot barely looks up from his laptop. Yeah. Keep playing. Maybe one day. He has no idea I already won. No idea I've been carrying that ticket in my purse for a week, waiting for the right moment to claim it. No idea that in New York, if I file for divorce before I claim the winnings, they're not marital property. He thinks he's 3 steps ahead, but I'm already at the finish line. It's funny how silence can sound like thunder when guilt starts to echo. Step 6. Meet Miriam. Her office is on Lexington Avenue. 42nd floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. She's 60 sharp-eyed, wearing a suit that costs more than my car. I show her everything. The emails. The bank statements. The motel receipts. The postnuptial agreement he tried to trick me into signing. She reads in silence. Then she looks up. Mrs. Harrison, she says. Do you want to destroy him, or do you just want what's yours? I don't hesitate. I want what's mine. And I want him to know he lost it. She smiles. It's not a kind smile. It's a winning smile. Then, let's get started.
I leave her office at 4 p.m.
The subway is crowded, bodies pressed together. The smell of pretzels and sweat and diesel. But I don't mind. For the first time in weeks, I feel light. They taught me that love meant giving. Today I'm teaching myself that love can also mean stopping. That night, I sit by the window with a cup of tea. My phone buzzes. An email from Miriam.
Subject: petition for divorce ready for review.
I open it. Scroll through. My finger hovers over the approve button. I don't press it yet. Not tonight. But soon. For the first time, I didn't need them to hear me. My silence had already spoken. The conference room smells like expensive cologne and lies. I'm sitting at the end of a long table. Elliot's at the head, of course.
Laura's 2 seats down, wearing a red blazer that screams confidence she hasn't earned.
There are 5 other people here. business associates. Elliot's CFO, a notary he hired. And me? The woman they think will sign away $50 million without reading the fine print. Elliot clears his throat. Thanks for coming, everyone. This is just a formality, a simple investment transfer agreement. Deborah and I have discussed consolidating our assets for tax purposes. He slides a document across the table. It's thick, official looking, the kind of paperwork designed to intimidate. He sets a pen on top of it. Just need your signature, babe. Babe? He hasn't called me that in 3 years. I look at the document, flip through it slowly. Everyone's watching me. Laura's lips curl into the smallest smile. The CFO checks his watch. The notary adjusts her glasses. I set the pen down. Before I sign, I say quietly, I want everyone to see something. Elliot's smile tightens. Deb, this really isn't. It'll only take a minute. I pull out my laptop. Open it. The screen glows. I've already connected it to the projector. I press a button.
The wall behind Elliot lights up.
An email appears. From Richard Wolfe Esquire to Elliot Harrison.
The CFO leans forward, squinting.
I don't read it aloud. I let them read it themselves. Once the funds are commingled, we have leverage. After the transfer, we proceed with divorce. Clean, fast. She won't see it coming. The room goes still. Elliot's face drains of color. Deborah, what are you? I click to the next slide. Another email. This one from Elliot to Laura. Once the money's in, I'll get rid of her clean. She's too old-fashioned to fight back.
Laura's hand flies to her mouth.
The CFO sits back in his chair, arms crossed. I click again. Bank statements. Transfers to Laura's account labeled consulting fees. $3.00 a month for 8 months. $24.00 total. For what exactly? Click. Hotel receipts. Skyline Motel. Room 203. March 14th. April 2 end. April 19th. Always the same room. Click. A video. Grainy. Security footage from the motel hallway. Elliot and Laura walking into room 203 together. His hand